foot flat, have it flat, disarm, push your knees back, try and grab onto your toes. Squeeze back up, shake your legs. Bend your legs now, put your arms where your knees are, push your knees back, hips forwards. Let's lean to one side. The other way. Back in the middle. And walk forwards, hips down, heads up. And bring your feet together. Don't shake your legs. Bounce your knee. Opposite leg. And both. Okay, so do a little bit of shadow boxing now just to loosen yourselves off. So off you go. Okay, right, grab yourself a partner, introduce yourself if you don't know each other, get a set of pads, get gloves on please. Ready, 14 straight punches, speed. Number 1, jab, 2 jab cross, 2 jab cross. 3 jab cross hook. 3 jab cross hook. 4 jab cross hook left body. 6 again, 4 jab cross hook body. 5 jab cross hook left body, left hook. Again, 5 jab cross hook body hook. 6 jab cross hook body hook cross. 6 jab cross hook body hook cross. So catch, I'll take that step back and hold pads to the kick, and I'll come back to fire the kick in. Okay, and again 2 kicks. Oh sorry, I'll go 1, 2, kicks, so I catch, so I'll come back, and then using that to help generate more power as I'm kicking. Okay, does that make sense? It's not just going 1, 2, catch, throw, which is still good, but this one's going to help get a little bit more power. Again, 1, 2, so I catch, I'll come back, until I've come through. That's the first half of the round. Second half round, exactly the same thing. I'll go 1, 2 again. This is a kick. So I'll catch, I'm going to come back, I'm going to go right cross. So we come in, so we go right cross, straight down the middle instead. Again and again. So we're 1, 2, kicks, so catch, come back, we go right hands. and then you alternate it, same again, I go 1, 2, kicks, catch, come back, hold that up, you go right elbow, the same, just using that same momentum to help generate power. So the first half, doing the kick, so as I come back, come across, and firing the kick. Second half, alternate it with the right cross or the right elbow. Okay, so get ready. Right, generally for me, if I can get change hooks, I've got them covered up now. As I fire my shots, I'll go right hook. As I fire my right hook, I set that leg back, so I'm going to use my hook to hide what I'm doing with my foot here. I'm going to kick in. What it will also do as well, is it knocks his weight onto that leg. That's a good time to kick that leg in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be in this stance. I'm just going to come out and fire some shots at him. When I'm ready, I'm going to kick down on that leg. So again, firing in, do the hook, and then kick. Right now, do it for a punch for now, but it works just as well. But push him and then kick that leg as well. But when I push it in the shoulder, so his whole body has to move. And I'm just going to push from there, and I can chop down on that leg. Right, so again, fire some shots. Obviously, don't fire 20 odd punches. After a bit, he's going to get annoyed and start firing back at you in a proper fight. He's not going to stay there. So just kind of get him to cover up. And from there, so I can kick that leg, then I can come back in and start doing something else from there. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah? Yep. So use that right hook. Don't go hook and bring your leg back. So I hook, then I bring it back. So I've made contact, bring it back, kick that leg. Okay, so off you go. So imagine now in the fight, I've caught him in that leg a couple of times and they start getting weary of that leg. So I'm going to come in again, he's going to cover up. Well, I've got him to cover up, so I'm coming in, boom, I'm going to kick up to the head instead. It's the same footwork. So he's scared of his leg, so what'll happen is when he's covered up, he's probably going to like trying to get his leg ready so I can't kick it. So while he's trying to defend that, so I do exactly the same thing, boom, I'm going to come up to kick up to the head instead. When you're kicking to the head, you aim for the jaw of the neck. Right, obviously you don't want to be kicking someone on top of there, still hurt them, but you don't want to be kicking there. So generally, if Shane's got his guard up, I'm kicking near his wrists, right? Because if he doesn't defend it, this is obviously the weak part of the arm, it's obviously the weak part of the glove, and I've seen loads of people get knocked out. Right, so while he's covered up from there, I'm going to aim for his wrist, because he's thinking I'm going for that leg, I'm going to come in across his wrist and knock it into his face. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. Right, so exactly the same, obviously don't kick hard now, but again, I'm going to cover up. So if I hook, so I step my leg back, boom, I'm going to come up to catch him up to the head. Okay, so practice that now. Be very careful.
Is there anything that you wish you knew earlier in your career that you know now?
How to play the game properly. I think I was about 18. I went to like a session with Ronnie Green. If any of you heard of Ronnie Green. Ronnie Green's like the first Englishman to actually go out there and compete with the Thais. He was like 5 times world champion. I went and did like a session with him. After the session, we just kind of chatted, and I was chatting about his time in Thailand, and he was saying that when he went to Thailand, it allowed him to stay in the sport longer. I didn't really understand what he meant until I went, and because I learned how to play the game, I learned that I don't always need to get into a war. I can obviously pick the points. I learned how to kind of save myself, and it's not about just banging, if that makes sense. Obviously, there's a system behind it, and obviously I understood that a lot more. I think it'd be nice to have kind of known that when I was a little bit younger as well. Probably would have saved a few injuries that I got.
Is it a good thing that these organizations like K1 are getting involved?
I think it's obviously I think it's great. From when I started in '94, even talks about it being recognised well as an Olympic sport, and obviously it's taken nearly 27 years or so for it to get to that stage. Hopefully it'll open up a few more doors for the actual sport to kind of build up, get probably a bit more financial support to help it kind of boost itself that way. I think that's what it's lacking, because it's been independent for such a long time. It's been held back compared to a lot of like judo, taekwondo, whereas obviously I've had like a lot of backing to help it like progress.
I just hope they don't distill it too much.
Who invented the sport?
I don't know. I don't know, because I remember years ago I was reading a forum, and they were trying to get Muay Thai into like some Asian games, but there was like a big kick-off going on between Thai people on the forum, Burmese people on the forum, Cambodian people on the forum, because they were saying that they would not enter it if it's called Muay Thai, because they were saying they believe they invented it, they believe they invented it. No one really knows, but it's just kind of, I really don't know. I don't know.
Who is the best fighter today?
To be honest, I don't follow the sport that closely now. Like a lot of it, I'm kind of watching the older fights.
Who's
still.
your all-time favorite then?
Obviously, for me, my all-time favourite fight was Roman Dekkers. But then that's mainly because he's one of the first few foreigners that was going out there and actually like doing well. Even like now, I don't think there's anyone that's got the prestige that he got. People probably have done better in the sport. I think the prestige that he got, because he was in the major stadiums against their top guys at the time. He was flown in to do it. He didn't pay for himself to go and stay there, which is what's happening now. It's very different. But then like out the Thais, obviously I was a big fan of Wang Chanoi, who I actually got to fight like 20 odd years ago. I don't know if any of you've seen another Thai called Palu Headlek. He was really, really good boxer as well, really clever. Namkaboen. Again, like if you look at any of the guys from the 90s,
I met him not long ago before he passed away.
Oh, okay.
Unreal. And he literally came up to me going, "Look, I beat Roman Dekkers." I'm going, "But I know who you are." He just showed me videos of him beating Roman Dekkers, and I'm thinking, "But I know exactly who you are. You're a god to me."
No, well, yeah, I did a quick session at Sijotong, trained with Kong Tarani. And someone said to me before Wang Chanoi, he was like, "Oh, do you know who I am?" I was like, "Yeah, I know who you are." Like, he's like a mega star back then as well. It's just mad how they don't really know how obviously well known they are, but obviously just a different era then. Obviously social media's kind of helped a lot.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Any other questions?
How do you feel about like the one championship style? Do you like it with little gloves and yellow cards?
Cause I actually got offered a contract with ONE FC, but that was before it officially announced its Muay Thai and kickboxing cards. So kind of, there's like me and there's a few others that I know that got asked a contract for it. But I turned it down. That's done. That part of my life's finished. Personally, I used to break my hands with 8-ounce gloves on. I don't fancy punching people with 4-ounce gloves on. To be honest, I don't fancy being punched in the face with 4-ounce gloves. But I think it's very exciting. There's been some great fights, and obviously it's helping the popularity again of Muay Thai. So I think it's only a good thing. Like there's bigger stages now compared to like before.
What do you think of Max? That's very, very sort of kind of somewhere in between those two.
Do you know, I started watching Max when it first came out, and I think it almost turned into a bit like Thai fight, and I just kind of lost a bit of interest, where I don't think some of the matches were that even, so I just kind of stopped. Well, I don't know what it's like now. I've watched it for a number of years.
It's got to be better. They just incentivise them to go crazy at each other.
Okay.
Like stitch bonuses, knockout bonuses, just going at each other.
Is they still doing MX? Is it MX?
No, that one went under, I think.
Okay.
Muay Hardcore, Muay MX, yeah, things like that.
Because when you speak to a lot of people, like they'll say that out of the stadiums, the fights are still really exciting because it's not heavily influenced by the gamblers that are in there. So obviously the stadiums now, obviously you probably watch, first couple of rounds not really much happens. They go mad for 2 rounds. Depending on how them 2 rounds, depends on how the 5th round goes. But apparently out in the provinces it's still quite really competitive, like they'll kind of go all out for the majority of the fight.
Great. Thank you,
That's
man.
it. That's all right.
Absolute
Thanks for having me
star.
again.